excited to try a new recipe that I have just put together from various recipes that I've had over the years. This is a chocolate candy cane cake. This is what I want to make. Kind of like a mint chocolate cake, but I'm going to make it with candy canes. The chocolate cake itself will not have the peppermint flavoring or peppermint candy in it, but the icing or the filling in between the layers and then the icing on top will have the peppermint flavor and the peppermint candies. So I'm really excited and cross my fingers, hope it turns out well. Let's get started with our dry ingredients. Now the thing about this cake, not only is it gluten-free and dairy-free, but it is also vegan. So those of you who can't have eggs, this is perfect holiday cake. This is 3 cups of gluten-free flour, just regular all-purpose flour. Gluten-free variety. 2 cups of regular granulated sugar. 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And 1 teaspoon of sea salt. That is it for your dry ingredients. So let's whisk those together. Okay, I don't know if you can see from there. I'll try to make sure you can see. There's still little chunks of chocolate together. You see that? We're going to use some hot water, boiling water, in a minute to help dissolve all of those chunks, so don't worry about that. Okay, now it's time for our wet ingredients. And we're going to use 1 cup of coconut milk, 3/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Now I happen to be out of just plain white vinegar, but I do have my flavored vinegars, and this is a white vinegar called cranberry pear, and I think that will go just fine in here. It's not a very strong flavor, so that's what we're going to use. Alright, and our last wet ingredient is vanilla, and we want 2 teaspoons. And remember, the top is a teaspoon, so we're going to get 2. Alright, and we're going to mix this together, and then I'm going to heat up the water and add that. That's pretty well mixed, and I'm going to heat this water up and get it out of the microwave when it's boiling hot, and we'll add it. Okay, here is our hot water, 1 cup. And let's add it. This came together beautifully. Do you see how smooth and silky that looks? Now, you can use an electric blender, but I just didn't get it out. I just whipped it up by hand. It can be done either way. This is just a little bit of muscle grease, and the other way, you just have a little extra dirty dishes. Okay, I have 2 pop pans that are sprayed with coconut oil all over the sides and the bottom, ready for this. I'm going to shake them a little bit to even out the batter. Okay, they're about the same. Not perfect, but close enough. So they will go into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes and check them, and if they're not quite done, go another 5 minutes. So let's just pop them in. See you in a bit. Okay, I have gotten them out of the oven and turned them over, and finger crossed that they'll come out of these pans. I let them cool for about 10 minutes after I took them out of the oven, and then I flipped them over on this cooling rack. So they come out. Yay! Ta-da! Yes. Okay, now we're gonna let them cool till they're completely cool before we will begin frosting. I'll be back. Now for the icing that's gonna go in between the 2 layers of cake, and then I'm gonna do a dark chocolate glaze on top. So let's do the middle part, the white part that goes in between the 2 cakes. So I have some peppermint candy. I actually came up with this idea because this was on sale at the grocery store. I thought, oh, Christmas is coming up, what can I do with this? And I thought, you know, my husband's favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. I thought, well, I could make a mint chocolate cake. And so I thought, let's just do a candy cane chocolate cake. So that's what we're doing. So here we go, and I'm gonna use the flat side of my pounding hammer. So this side's got the little rivulets on it. We don't want to use that, but just the flat side, and I'm gonna pound this into little pieces, and then we'll blend everything else together. Okay, that was really loud. You didn't get to hear it. I turned off the sound for it, but it was really, really loud, just so you know. So to make our frosting, I'm going to use half a container, or 4 ounces, of dairy-free cream cheese. I just divided it in half here. Okay. Then we're gonna add a whole container of Cocoa Whip. This is coconut, substitute for Cool Whip, but it's Cocoa Whip, so it's dairy-free. Let's add this whole container. This is 9 ounces. It calls for 8 ounces, but I mean, we're gonna have to use 9 ounces because that's how it comes in this container. All right. We're gonna use 1/4 cup of coconut milk. This is from the can, full fat. 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And I have some peppermint extract, and I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon because peppermint extract is very strong. So we're going to use 1/4, and then I'm going to taste it and see if it needs any more. I'm also going to add some of these little pieces of peppermint candy, so it may not need any more than this. All right. I'm going to use the hand mixer and whip this together. And then I'll fold in these pieces. Now let's add some of our candy. Not sure how much, like I said, I just kind of made this up. So let's just add some and taste. I want some to be able to put on the top, but I have some more in this bag if I need it. Now this is very runny, loose, but it will stiffen up once I cover it and put it in the refrigerator before it's time to use it for the frosting. Okay, let's have a little taste. I love the crunch of the candy in there. It's gonna be good in the cake. Well, hello, I am back again the next day. The first batch of frosting I made just never did thicken up. It just would not do it. So I remade the frosting and I left out the coconut milk. So this frosting is a 1/4 of a cup of dairy-free cream cheese, 9 ounces of coconut whip, like Cool Whip, but coconut whip, and a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint extract, and some of these peppermint candies that were crushed. And I let this stay overnight. So this is something you definitely need to make the day before. Cooking is all about experimentation and learning as you go, and so that's something I learned. And I get to pass on. Okay, now I have 2 cups of dark chocolate, dairy-free dark chocolate chips. I'm gonna put them in this bowl. I have some water simmering underneath this bowl, so this should melt very nicely to make our glaze. To this melting chocolate, I'm going to go ahead and add 3/4 cup of coconut milk that came from the can, full fat. Let's get that incorporated. At first it doesn't look like it's going to come together, but just keep stirring and it will become smooth and silky and the way you want to see it. Okay, that's pretty melted and smooth. So now we're going to add 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. This, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint extract, and then we're going to taste it and see if we need more. I think it needs another 1/4 teaspoon. That'll give us 1/2. So we'll do it by 4ths. Okay, so 1/2 teaspoon of peppermint extract is about right. If you wanted extra many, I guess you could put another 1/4, but this is how we're going to stop right here. I'm going to go get the cake out of the refrigerator, and we'll ice it with the glaze on top. Okay, so here we go. You remember, I'm not really a baker, but I love sweets, so let's put this together. I think the best way is just to pour it on top. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but it's gonna taste really great. Okay, I'm gonna take fresh mint and sprinkle it on top. I'm gonna try to make sure I have some of the pieces that have the stripe on them so that, you know, anybody that cuts into this knows it is peppermint. And then it goes back in the refrigerator. All right, here we are. It's not the most beautiful cake because I'm not a baker. You could probably do a much better job of it, but it's gonna taste delicious. I just know it. Let's try a little bit of the white and the chocolate and the cake all together. Tastes like Christmas. I love it. It's got that crunch from the broken up pieces of candy in the middle and the white part. And it's got a dark chocolate on top and just a regular chocolate cake. And it is delicious. Gluten-free, dairy-free, and even vegan. So that all the way around is the best gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan cake that I've had in a while. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe below. Okay, grandsons, you want to try the Christmas chocolate candy cane cake? You do? Well, let's give it a bite.
I'm gonna take my shoes off.
No, you don't need to take your shoes off for this. I can't see your face. So you gotta look up. Are you ready? You gotta tell me how you like it.
I like it.
You like it? Make you think of Christmas?
Yeah, it tastes like a little minty.
A little minty?
Little.
And it makes me think like, I'm chewing something really crunchy.
You like that crunch of the candy in the middle? Does it taste chocolatey
Very.
and minty?
I'll eat the whole thing.
You'd eat the whole thing?
I will too.
You will? So you like it? You want me to make it for Christmas? Okay, daughter, try our Christmas cake, our new Christmas cake. See if you like it.
I do like it.
You like it?
mint in it?
Yeah, it's a chocolate candy cane cake.
It's very good. I can't tell it's vegan at all.
You can't tell it's vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free? Would you be able to tell, like, if somebody just, you got this, they
No,
wouldn't
and I
know?
really like the chocolate glaze. It's like fudge.
Yay!
It's really good.
A new dessert for Christmas.